Well, the vendors that have various different security blades, they call them. That's all really good stuff.
Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Payroll and vendor checks, those have been signed off on. You got all the way through that?
Yep, that's all set.
All right. Meeting minutes. We signed one set of meeting minutes. Linda, there was one, the non-public from last time. There was a couple, like Omer was listed instead of Andrew as being present.
So, yeah,
So
just a
It
typo.
was a typo, so I circled it.
Okay.
It's in the packet, but
Alright.
it is just a typo. So other than that, the meeting minutes have been signed off. Then we have a land use change tax for Fahey. Let's see here. This must be something that came from Avatar,
Yes,
and Avatar has obviously reviewed this.
the letter is attached,
Yes.
and you see where you have to sign in 2 places?
Yep, so we signed it.
Okay,
I was just making sure that you were all set with it.
yes,
This is just new construction,
yes.
I assume? Okay, so that's signed off on.
Is that the one, is that just one signature that we needed?
No, we
No.
both signed this.
Oh, we did, okay, I'm sorry,
Yep.
there was another one. Alright,
This is on Atwood Hill. We're removing a half an acre from current use.
okay.
Sign. Driveway permit for the same person.
Yes.
Paul has not seen this or signed it.
Oh,
He's on
okay,
vacation.
alright, well, we can hold off on
So
that.
I'll just put it back in here.
Okay.
And then, like last time we signed it, we let him look at it, but he signed it here, so I guess
Okay.
I'll just put it back. So that did not get signed yet. McKibben proposal for additional sampling. So this is from DES, right? They regulate the dump down there, the testing. They're the ones that make, yeah, New Hampshire DES site, blah, blah, blah. So McKibben is the ones that are doing the water quality samples at the dump.
Yes.
And one of the tests came back, target compounds were detected in the sample collected at a concentration exceeding the New Hampshire groundwater standard. They decided to require a resampling of the well. They couldn't do it in May, so they're going to do it soon. So we signed off on that, so that's ready, they'll retest it, and then we'll get the results.
Okay.
We haven't, I don't remember any other tests being high. Is this the first one? Quite a
Since
while?
I've been here, it's the first one.
Yeah, because I think that we've seen a few tests, at least in my time here, and we're okay.
Yeah, they usually just, yes, they seem to be.
Okay, so that's signed off, so they'll test that, we'll find out. We have an OHRV grant application, this is for the police department for OHRV patrol,
Yes.
and you said sign where it's highlighted. So,
There are two original documents, so you need to sign both documents.
yep, at the moment, we just have mine, do we need
That's
more than
all
one?
you need,
Just one.
and then your initial dollar.
I did,
page.
there was a lot of initialing.
And just so that you know, they only allocated 900 to us this year.
Mhm.
Last year was 2,700,
So state's still in the pinch.
evidently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but we're still gonna have to patrol it.
Was it 2,700 last year?
Yeah,
And the only section that Chief Strong will be patrolling is from Shawnee's to the Warren Town line. That's the only ATV permitted section on the railroad tracks, right? So, you know,
I don't know, but he used his budget up last year, you know, he used the grant up, so he's gonna either have to,
so does he bills by the hour for his OHRV time, and then anything else will just be part of the town patrol budget?
I guess we'll have to,
You
kind
can
of take
check
that
with them.
by ear and, maybe reevaluate that if we need to like change the budget or something like that, if we can't get additional grants, I guess.
Well, I don't think he has a special line item for it. It's
Well,
part of
well,
the-
no, I know, I mean, revisit it like for this upcoming year, if this really is not gonna do it, I suppose.
If he feels he needs more
Right.
for a line item for next year.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you can't change budgets now.
No, I know, I completely understand, I'm indicating, revisit it later for the budget for the following year.
Okay, so that's all set then. Request for tax abatement. We didn't sign this one yet because we're hoping you could fill us in on the reason
Okay.
why. I see a registration here.
Yes, we can abate the 2021 bill.
Okay.
She has until March 1st to request an abatement. The reason being, when Avatar was out there on April 1st, they made a mistake, they didn't see the sticker. Her registration is good through July,
Mm-hmm.
so she made a copy of the registration, and so it is,
So as long as these campers are registered, they're not gonna be taxed on the property tax bill?
correct.
Cause they already are being
Because they're
taxed
paying-
because of the registration.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But if they're a seasonal site and they don't register their vehicle, then they pay tax.
Yeah, then it's a building, basically.
Yes,
Okay. So this is something that we should be signing.
yes.
Yeah, I'd be happy to sign that then, that's a good explanation.
You get a few of those every year.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of camper stuff. And we're gonna see more. Thank you. Okay, select board reports and comments. Andrew, do you have, you wanted to go over the water testing? Would
Right,
you like to lead off?
sure. So we got results yesterday, even though it looks like they were all completed this past week. I ended up posting them online as well. The results are all within, the normal counts, less than 88 per 100 milliliters. And yeah, the numbers, we do have them, if anyone wants to come in and grab those numbers. I'll just read off a few from Wentworth. The town park at Pages, that showed about 23.3. The just off Hamilton Field, 15.4. And then the Silver Bridge over by Saunders Hill, that shows 31.8.
So well under the 88.
Right, exactly.
So still safe.
Right. So that's all I got on that. And if anybody wants additional details on that, we could always get in touch with the Baker River Watershed Association.
Who is our point of contact for that when there is a test that's high? How quickly do they get to the town?
Her name is Lisa Donner. She's very on top of it. She's the one that sent these results. And, yeah, if there's something high, she will notify the town saying this area is very high. She should have the health officer post it. We had that last year at Silver Bridge.
Now, I did, not that we necessarily need to bring this up, I did see some chatter on social media related to concerns of E. coli levels around certain areas and whether there really is any way to try to find the source of where that possibly could be created, I suppose.
Well,
We
what's
dealt with that
unusual-
last year.
What's unusual in this year is that the Pages was higher than Hamilton Field, correct?
That's interesting, yeah, this,
Because
what was
last-
this one more time?
I'm pretty sure, unless I got it backwards.
Are you talking about last year or these?
No,
Okay,
this year,
so it says pages 23.3 and the Hamilton field is 15.4, but Saunders Hill showed 31.8.
Saunders Hill always is a little higher, I'm not sure why.
Okay,
But it's unusual that Pages is a little bit higher than Hamilton, because Hamilton has the campground
Right.
and some of the, Grandmother Ranch or whatever, that's what happened last year. Hamilton was higher and Pages was lower, so it just doesn't make sense to me. That's where the most flow of the water is, right at Pages, so we just have to keep an eye on it and see how they progress throughout the summer.
Last year we looked, 'cause in a few places it did spike, and we looked, and the health officer also searched a few areas to make sure everything was compliant, and everything was. And when we talked to the Baker River Watershed Club, that they basically attributed it to low water and high temps at that time.
right.
And so a few places that people in town suspected could be contributing to it, the health officer had checked, and there was nothing to be found.
And for my information, and everyone else's, do we know the typical schedule throughout the year for the Baker River Watershed Association testing?
I think it's every 2 weeks.
I think it wasn't it, we had a vote last year, I think it was bi-weekly, but for an extra like $200 or $300 for the year, I think we voted to make it weekly.
I'll have to double check that.
Yeah.
I know that our costs have gone way down because we're doing our own testing now, we're not having to send it to Concord or.
Okay, you're saying, so the Baker River Watershed Association, they're doing it?
Yeah,
Okay.
they got their own equipment, and so you might be right, I have to look that up.
I think it was so cheap that we decided to make it weekly.
Yeah, I think so, because we were gonna save so much money on the outside lab.
Yeah,
Okay, then if that's the case, then maybe we can make sure that those levels on a weekly basis are available to everyone.
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So,
Do we have a protocol, what happens if they test it and it's too high somewhere? And say you're not in the office, or it's a weekend, or something like that, what is the next person in line that they would get a hold of to make sure we post it? So it doesn't go 3 or 4 days or something? Like, do they have the health officer's number? Do they have
Don't know.
Chief Ames, or Arnie, or myself, or,
maybe it would be best to get in touch with them to make sure we understand like what their protocol is, if there is something that's elevated.
yeah, or give them 4 or 5 different contact people, so if it is a Saturday or Sunday and you're not around or something, that we can, because if it is too high, I'd like to rush right down and put up posters, just to be safe.
Right.
Okay.
We should probably try to set up some type of protocol with them.
I'll call Lisa and find out. And
Okay.
also, if we voted on doing it weekly, I'm not sure if it got communicated to them.
Okay?
So,
Okay.
because I don't remember doing it myself, but
I remember the vote, but
Oh, yeah.
after that, I think it was later in the year when we voted on it, and at
yeah, I
that point it
think so
became moot.
too. I will call Lisa.
So another follow-up item.
Yeah, if we could just check on those couple things, and
Yeah.
thank you.
I guess I'll just touch upon, let's see, one other thing, or actually a couple other things. I am in touch with the webmaster again. We are brainstorming ideas for possible upgrades to the town website. This is really items that we're going to be doing on our free time, looking into that. Something a little bit updated, a little bit more secure as well. And on the topic of just technology in general, I haven't heard anything new on the MHEC broadband project. Again, last time I tried to get an update, it was a little bit vague, unfortunately, from the executives over there. But they were due to already start doing their surveying and other related work to get started. So that's really where we're at with that. And that's all I got.
Okay. On the town website, like, Jeff, I think, isn't there sections where you've been able to post things on the town website for updates?
I do that through the fire department Facebook page, which has a connection to the town website.
Okay, because it would be handy as we rework the website for the department heads to be able to put information and pictures or whatever without public comments and just notify people of roads out and trees down
Yeah.
and
So that will
Whatever.
be, that'll definitely be a type of feature that we're looking into. One of the systems that I was, or the platforms I was looking at, has a blogging capability built into it, where you could turn on, turn off commenting functionality. You could always indicate you want to subscribe to it, so you get notifications anytime, a new post is made as well. And that can have different users as well, so we can have, the police department, fire department, highway department, etc., to have access to post to that directly to this platform, rather than the way we kind of have now. It's kind of hacked together a little bit. We can make it a lot better, and I think it'll look a lot nicer, more secure, and so on.
that would be great. Okay. Anything else?
Fair enough.
Okay. I don't have anything in particular except for the gravel pit and stuff that's coming up later. So I guess we'll turn it over to the police chief report.
Okay, sorry I missed the first part of the meeting here. Obviously,
Okay.
the office is a little busy. So some highlights on the activity of the last couple of weeks. We met and released some property to a former Wentworth resident that had been previously seized by a protective order through the family court. The items seized were returned per a second court order and authorized by the court, so we took care of that this past weekend. I took a harassment complaint from 2 Wentworth residents, actually 3 in total, involving a neighboring property owner. I was able to speak with all 3 and come to an amicable agreement that they just live next to each other but not communicate with each other negatively or otherwise, and hopefully life will go on. And so far it seemed to work. I took a report from a Wentworth resident who was concerned because a neighbor had been seen walking around the property with what was described as an AK-47 rifle, and although nothing is illegal about that, because there were concerns raised, I did look into it pertaining to, incidentally, on another report that I was there that had nothing to do with this, and as it turned out, the AK-47 was not an AK-47 rifle, but a pellet rifle that very much resembled an AK-47 rifle. So that concern was alleviated. I responded and assisted with the rollover tractor trailer accident on Route 25 last week with New Hampshire State Police and the Wentworth Fire Department, and Chief Ames, I'm gonna give you some huge kudos. The fire department was out there for a long time, and the guys did an outstanding job containing the scene, assisting with the scene, traffic control, everything. It was a really good orchestrated departments that were able to come together, from state police, DOT, the record units, the fire department. They did a great job, and I can't say it enough. It's a part-time volunteer fire department, but these guys really do a great job. And I've been doing this 27 years now, so when I roll up on a scene like that and I see that everything's taken care of, I really appreciate that, Chief, so thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Um,
The fire department.
I took an animal complaint where there were 2 canines that were located in Wentworth that we deal with on a regular basis, and we took possession of them, tried to make contact with their owner. We were unable to do so. The animal control officer transported them to the Humane Society. The owner was contacted later on and issued 2 summons by Chief Trott, which he was okay with receiving, knowing that it was her responsibility, and that matter's been resolved. For the last 2 weekends, the Runtown Speedway has run without incident, and I think it should be noted that on one of the Saturdays, there was actually a 45-minute rain delay, and they actually still managed to get the races in. They were done 15 minutes late, but given a 45-minute rain delay, everything was taken care of. I think they did a great job. We've had no incidents with it, no problems.
No,
On my end,
no
it
noise
is.
complaints or anything, chief?
What's that?
No, no additional noise complaints or anything?
None that's been made to me,
Okay.
no, so, and, you know, I just have to comment on the noise complaints, it's, the complaints that came in previously were on Sundays, and was not, to my understanding, had nothing to do with the racetrack. Had to do with a couple residents on North Dorchester Road that were tuning up cars for different races at different venues, but nothing to do with one time, so, you know, it is what it is. And I wanna just make an administrative note, 2 weeks ago, I took part in 3 separate trainings that were held in Manchester. They were 3 two-hour trainings. They were titled Ethics, De-escalation, and Implicit Biases. They were offered by the New Hampshire Chiefs of Police Association, were presented and taught by the New Hampshire Police Standards and Training. I want to just note that these trainings are trainings that were mandated for all law enforcement officers to attend throughout the state of New Hampshire by an executive order by the governor. So every officer in the state of New Hampshire is mandated to undergo this training. And this is obviously because of what's taking place across the country here. So New Hampshire Chiefs of Police Association, which we are a member of, hosted the training. It was put on by the Hampshire Police Standards and Training, and it was at no cost to the town of Wentworth. So I think that's just 3 pretty significant, important bullets that I just want to put out there for the community to understand. You know, we're a community of 900 people. We have a part-time police department. I try to do the best I can with costs in my department, and the fact that we're able to belong to an agency that just doesn't help us with new laws or policies or procedures or keeping us updated on what's going on at the big house down there in Concord. They're also giving us trainings that are at no cost to small agencies like us. So I was happy to take part in it, and happy to get it put under my belt for my training records for New Hampshire Police Standards and Training by the end of the year.
So, on the topic of monies in general, you weren't in the room, I think, at the time, but the OHRD grant application, we understood that last year you had about 2,700 and this year only about 900. I don't know if you want to speak to any of that at all.
So I had contacted the Hampshire Fish and Game about that, and the reason that we didn't receive as many monies as well as our sister community, Warren, is because there are more law enforcement agencies that have applied for the grant. So they need to disperse more money to more agencies.
Okay.
And because we have a very small corridor of OHRV trail in our community, we're one of the ones that took the hit for diversifying that money to other communities. So that's all that is.
Okay. Do you think that's going to be an issue at all as far as making sure things are safe throughout the trails and whatnot?
I don't know. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Okay.
No,
Alright.
not at all. That's it for me. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Was everyone okay at that truck rollover or the truck accident?
Yes, miraculously.
Because it looked, when I drove by before it was shut down, and it looked really bad.
Yeah.
I just hadn't heard.
Miraculously, it was, nobody was hurt. Not even a scratch, right, chief?
Not even a scratch.
Do you know what the cause was, or is that under investigation?
That's still under investigation by New Hampshire State Police and their truck units. Their 700 units, yeah.
It looked like they hit the back of a passenger truck, is that right? It looked like the rear end of a truck was dented up.
I'm sure one of them got dented.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thanks, Chief.
All right. Thank you.
okay.
My next, okay, so calls for service, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Not sure what was covered at the last meeting, but somewhere around May 24th, we were called to cover Plymouth because they had a working structure fire, so we covered their station during that time. We had 1 engine and 5 firefighters on that scene. We also had 3 back here ready for our stuff if we had anything. On the 31st, we ended up going to a 2-alarm structure fire in Groton. We were one of there was Rumney and then Wentworth and then Hebron were the first 3 crews in on that one. We ended up with 10 firefighters on that scene, and we shuttled water from the Halls Brook Road area. There's a dry hydrant there. Training, no, I'm sorry, I'll go back. We had that multiple vehicle accident that we were just discussing. We had 2 engines and 12 firefighters on that scene for 8 hours. We were there for a long duration. The reason for that was traffic control and debris management, getting stuff cleared out of the roadway. Then you will probably be getting a bill from Shawnee's store, because I had one of the guys run up and grab sandwiches for our crew. So,
That's fine.
if you see that, just let me know, and I'll be more glad to sign that.
Okay.
Training, we continue our training in various evolutions of firefighting and rescue. The last meeting, we went over the extrication tools and usage, proper cutting, discussing the different areas on the vehicles that we're going to be cutting. So basically, we have some green, new people that we're trying to get more involved in that rescue operation. Fundraising on the 29th, May 29th, we had a plant and bake sale. That was tremendous. It went over fantastically. I mean, it was just phenomenal, the amount of people that came out to support us on that.
That's great.
The next fundraising that we're going to be doing will be at the Warren Old Home Days. We'll have our normal booths, which one booth is kids' games, the other booth is, raffles and that type of stuff. And we usually do pretty well up there. That's a 3-day event, so that's going to be from July 9th through the 11th. So, and also we'll be involved in the parade on Saturday and that as well. Details, the racetrack's in full swing. We've covered the track with adequate personnel. Again, as the chief had pointed out, there has been no issues there. I think the track has been running pretty smoothly. I think the people that are coming in, are seeing a pretty decent show going on. So, we've been put on Canaan Fire Department's run cards. What that means is they're now going to be calling for Wentworth to come in to assist them on certain zones in their area, on first alarm and second alarm structure fires. So that's happened, and I also am bringing in them to this town with very specific equipment. So that's going to work out well for both towns. The next thing. So with deep regret, I inform you all that we have lost a member of our fire auxiliary. Penny Davis passed away last night. Yeah, Penny had been a big supporter of the fire department for many, many, many years in the auxiliary side, helping with the raffles, helping with all of the stuff that we try to do fundraising with. Perfect example, she was ill last fall, and next thing I know, she's making up bags of candy for the trunk or treat up here. That shows a lot of dedication. So she passed away last night, sometime in the evening. And I just wanted everybody to know. And I wanted to say thanks, Penny, for your endless devoted time to help the department. You will be missed. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Although I do have one other thing, and you probably will want this one. This is from my emergency management director's position. This is on the project number 45171, where we were working. We'd already completed, and I think you've already expended all this money.
We did. I printed that off today as well.
Yeah, so I signed off on that last night out of the
Yeah.
portal, and so there is that.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the money we're about to get reimbursed.
This is, remember we talked about it at the June 9th meeting with FEMA. So I'm going, this is the project, the Fresklin portion of the project that was already completed.
Right.
They broke it off, and we estimated there'd be 38,000 coming. It's 45.
Yeah, Paul Hatch actually had called me and
Oh,
He
okay.
did tell me that he was gonna,
Yeah.
I forgot to ask
Seem to
you.
have called everybody, because I went to go on the site and sign off on it, and it said Jeff Ames signed off, so. Anyway, we should be getting that money soon.
He said relatively soon.
Yeah, it seemed like he was really very eager to push that, and that's definitely appreciated, obviously.
And,
Well, they had told us soon,
Yeah.
4 or 5 months ago. So.
Right, but I think he, I don't know, that, the meeting we had recently, I don't know, it was definitely appreciated. It seemed like he definitely had concern about that as well, so.
Yes.
and also, just wanted to let you know that we received the grant money for the hazard mitigation plan,
Oh, good.
$6,999.75.
And that was complete, that wasn't a 50-50 match or a 75-25?
No,
That was complete,
complete,
yeah, good.
so it didn't cost us anything, everything was grant money.
Okay. While we're talking about FEMA, I'll skip the gravel pit for a minute. I just had a quick update. I spoke to Paul Hatch. He said that he was gonna have the portal stuff for you to do, and then I completely forgot to check in, so I'm glad that you saw that. So that is supposed to be coming in soon. He also checked in with me to go over just an update from our last meeting with the FEMA heads. And he said that, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this, but that, Arnie locating the Boston FEMA director was a great stroke of business. And that Paul Hatch was enjoying that, and that it was funny to him. And that it, I guess, quote, turned a lot of heads within those people at the department. They didn't realize that we had already gone 4 or 5 notches above their department, and I think that that sped things up. And they're actually, right now, in the process of transferring us our project from the Vermont, I don't know if it was Burlington, but whatever, the Vermont division, where there's less resources, and they're moving us to the Boston division with this guy Paul Ford that Arnie has contacted, and they have more resources, and that we are at the top of the priority list to get this done. And
Wow.
that contacting him upped their game.
I know there wasn't really anybody else at this last meeting we had with Homeland Security, HEB, who else was there?
It was just multiple FEMA departments.
Right, and there was a lot of stress during that meeting, or more so us stressing the fact that we really need to get this moved along and, cut all this red tape. Arnie absolutely was fired up and obviously came through, so.
He pushed some of the correct buttons.
Yep.
So it seems like things are moving forward. The money is still not obligated. Not our
One
fault.
step closer.
We're one step closer. We keep plugging away. They are moving us to the Boston office with the guy that Arnie has spoken to, and it sounds like they're motivated. Paul Hatch seemed to be quite happy about that development. So hopefully that is moving along as fast as it can.
That's outstanding.
Good
So,
work.
thank you. So that is the update on FEMA. Any questions about FEMA? Okay, the gravel pit, there is not much. A while back, we had signed the deed research contract. That's been sent to HEB. So this week, I will check in with them to find out where they are. But other than that, that's kind of the last step for this year. That's all the money that we have from the warrant article to do it. So they'll come back to us with a deed sketch, and their title opinions and things like that. And then we can work on a warrant article for next spring based on what they come up with. On new business, it's Grafton County Commissioner report, but Omer is not here. I don't see anything else. So the floor is open for public comments. Anything?
My name is Randy Comstiller, this is my wife Andrea, and how you doing? We're down on the corner of 25 and Beach Hill Road, and we received a big jump on our tax assessment, pretty significant. No explanation, no contact from anybody. We're kind of concerned what's going on across the road has got a significant financial impact on our property. Not trying to stop anybody from doing anything, it's got nothing to do with that, but we're not gonna be paying a full boat of property taxes. Now, I was in a couple weeks ago and I talked to Linda about it, just on a chance that she was here, and she went down through the records and supposedly we denied entrance to the tax assessor on 2 different occasions, on August and in January. There was nobody denied entrance to our property, there was nobody there that we know of. Now, they could have been there when we weren't there. There was no card in the door, no notice of anything, but we had received a notice that when the pandemic thing got started, that they weren't gonna be coming around. So where that comes from, that they were denied entrance, I have no idea. But I will say this, they are denied entrance right now. I don't want anybody on my property. I want the assessment looked at in relationship to what's going on across the road. I'm not calling everybody in the state, reporting on King. He can do what he wants to do, but we're not paying top dollar. I've talked to a lawyer and I've talked to a realtor about it, and they said, that's gonna knock the hell out of your value. So I have not talked to the assessor, nobody has called me at all, and she's called him twice. And another thing that was brought up, well, you had the whole back of your house, all new cedar shingles. Well, he needs to go get his eyes checked, because that was done 10 years ago. And that's a maintenance deal, that's got nothing to do with adding on or adding any value, that's just taking old siding off and replacing new siding. So, and I told Linda, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm not asking for anything, but I'm gonna tell you something. We're not paying until it's straightened out. If we have to go to court, we'll go to court. So
you are asking for something though?
I'm asking that the assessor looks at it or contacts me to discuss it. And this is not a couple of $100 we're talking about, this is a big hit.
So just to make sure, and just hear me out on this.
Yeah.
One thing, if you don't want them avatar on your property at all, you can post it with a no trespassing sign. They will not come on your property at that point.
Well, I've been open to it until now, but to me now it's gonna be adversarial.
Understood. I suppose, I mean, we can handle this on an individual basis, I believe, right, Linda? Suppose we can get in touch with Avatar to try to figure out.
I got in touch with Avatar when you called me last week, Randy.
I heard from nobody.
As soon as we hung up, I called Jared, I explained the situation. He had the day off that day, but I got the impression from him that he was gonna take care of it. And that was when did you call me? Thursday? Wednesday? I'm not sure.
I don't know, I'm getting old, I'm losing track of time.
But anyway, I'm very surprised that you haven't heard from me.
No, not a word from anybody.
And I will call him tomorrow and.
I mean, that's kind of disheartening, you know, when you get that raise. Of course, he might not have known what was going on across the road. But we don't know that if he doesn't get a hold of us.
Sir, I do want to indicate that the entire town is being reassessed this year, so.
Well, that's another thing, I don't know if that was the reassessment. I was told
No.
that it's not the reassessment, so I don't have a final figure.
Is that part of an assessment for this past?
Some people got assessed in January,
Okay, yeah,
because there were notes on their file.
okay.
Well, I don't know why that would have been, and I went down through the tax rolls, and our increase was pretty significant.
It was.
That's right, for nothing being done, other than maintaining the property. It's a very authentic old house, and we try to maintain it.
I'm sure we can get explanation on, they do have various different,
Because they're probably getting paid enough, they can make a phone call.
they have various different, ways that they calculate the assessments, and, just so you understand, every year there's a sampling of the town
Right.
that's reassessed, and every 5 years again, they're all, 100% reassessed, so it looks like you, I suppose it could
So
be,
what happens now, that reassessment, that you had in January, just determined what the first half of your bill was for 2021, which you got the bill in May or whatever. They have already finished all the assessing in our town, they visited every property. So we will be getting, every individual person that owns property will be getting a letter within the next month, or maybe sooner, telling us what our new assessment is going to be. And that is what gets assessed, that is what determines the bill come December. They will take that assessment, determine a whole year, and minus out what you got charged in May.
Oh, I know how
So-
the billing cycle works.
Oh, okay. So
I know how that
anyway,
works, this is the assessment.
well, once you get the assessment in the month or so, it'll say in the letter, they're gonna give you a certain amount of time to contact them if you don't agree with the assessment. So,
Well, why wouldn't they have done it on this increase?
right,
Because this was a fairly significant increase right out of the blue.
yeah, it wasn't an official reassessment, they just visited the property, tried to bring it more in line so that this half of the bill would be somewhat similar to the second half of the year. But
It sounds like a lot of double talk to me.
well, it isn't really, in between though, we're getting this full reassessment. Yours might not go up that much because.
Oh,
they
it's not gonna now, I can tell you that.
Well,
You
because they
might try,
already-
you might try it, but
Alright,
a judge will go the other way.
sir-
Whoa, hang on, everyone stop, one person at a time, let's work through this, okay?
But, they may, because yours was assessed in May already, January, for the May bill, you might not get as large, an increase in, for the December bill. But, like I said, you're going to have time to look at it. They are aware right now, and I'm sure he's made a note on the file, I hope he has, that you're not happy with your value going down because of the business across the street. So at that time, I just say, please be patient until you get your letter of what the reassessment is, the reevaluation, then take it from there.
Oh, we're patient, but I just want the air cleared on it.
Yeah,
That's, nothing's gonna change. But I just want it out in the open.
yeah, if you're not happy with it, you follow their instructions. I think you probably have to contact Avatar if you're not happy. They will reevaluate it, and at that time, you can have your say with Avatar and say, hey,
Well, the law says the select board are the assessors.
well, we are, but we
Yeah, well, I
hire,
know you are.
we hire it out.
Right, but you guys are
Maybe
the
you file
assessors.
an abatement, is that what's going to
Not-
come in?
I don't suggest that yet. I suggest, first of all, most likely your assessment did go up by that amount that they increased it in
The
January.
tax rate went up as well, but
Yeah.
that also would affect it
Right.
anyways.
Right,
So it's not just your assessment, the tax rate went up.
Well, I know about the tax rate, I'm concerned about the assessment in the value situation. That's what my concern is the value.
I
And
would,
that's taking a hit. It's not our only asset. We're not gonna be out on
Yeah.
the street by any means. But I would think that anybody would be complaining if it was across from them.
I don't.
Value
I don't think
wise.
so. So I would suggest you just wait for that letter, see what it says. If it's way out of line in your eyes, contact them, see if they will reassess it. And then if they determine that they're reassessing it for you, bringing the value down, then that'll be reflected in your December bill.
And if they're still not happy, they can come to us with an abatement? Is
If
that-
they're still not happy, yes, then you have until next March
To
1st
file.
to file in a.
You can either go through the BTLA or you can go through Superior Court.
Linda,
Or you can bring an abatement
Well,
to us.
were they supposed to
Yeah,
come out?
but I mean, after you, it can either, if it's not favorable, it goes to the BTLA or Superior Court, you have a choice.
You're
Oh, if
assuming a
it's
lot
not
of things are gonna go
right.
wrong. though.
Well, no, I'm not assuming anything, I'm just kinda honked off at it. And I think
You're right.
any reasonable person would be ticked off.
Okay, that's
You know, it's probably a couple $100,000 loss there. Like I said, we're not missing any meals, but I'm not just gonna say, oh, everything is great
What is a couple $100,000 loss?
with that going on across the road.
I don't think they're gonna have your, a couple $100,000.
Well, it'll go to court, I have no hesitation about going to court
Well,
with
let's,
it, I really don't.
Sir, hang on. I think the best next steps are for, for you folks to actually get a conversation going on with Avatar, figure out exactly
We've tried.
what
Yeah, it'd
affected.
be nice if they
Wait.
call.
Well,
It's coming.
I think that,
I will take care of something tomorrow. I
Right.
will either give you his number or insist that he call.
You know, I don't wanna be nasty, but I mean, that's a significant, I know what I've been told.
we understand, sir. I
That's
think
right.
we'll definitely help you get.
And like I
get-
said,
get-
I'm not trying to stop anybody from doing anything, I'm not calling anybody, but it's like I said, I'm not gonna be paying top dollar either.
Understood. We'll make you just, if you have a conversation with them, we'll obviously help you make sure you get that conversation and make you well aware of how they made that assessment. Because there are multiple factors that go into that. It may not necessarily be, across the street, it could be something else. So I think,
Well, that's what I said, they might not even be aware of that when they made that adjustment. But if you can't talk to somebody, I talked to you, we've talked to you, but whoever's juggling the numbers has not been talked to.
are you all right with our next steps?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
perfect.
Hey,
All right.
Yeah, I'm just a little cranked up about it because it's a little disturbing, the noise is constant. There's a vibration, there's backup alarms all day long, you can't open your windows. Am I trying to stop it? No. But I do know that it is an obsolescence on the property. So, be honest with you, we've recorded it, we've photographed it on a daily basis. If it goes to court, a judge is gonna look at it. And they're gonna understand it. So, it's whatever you wanna do, but I just want everybody on one
I think we
page.
have some next steps, and, we're obviously willing to try to help push
All right.
Avatar to get you at a,
Yeah.
Sure.
Keep in
Can I
mind
ask
that
a
this is
question?
the first time that we've heard about this, so try to.
Well, probably nobody else is complaining. I'm right there directly across from
No,
the show.
every single person that's ever had their tax bill go up has complained to somebody at some point. But anyways,
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't, if it was just that assessment, you probably wouldn't even hear from me.
okay,
So
so
this
the
is
point,
a relationship,
wait,
hey, what's going
sir,
on?
I think we have
So-
our next steps already.
Good,
Let's do
good,
that.
good, sounds good to me.
Dave, you had something to add?
I just wanted to ask, were they supposed to come out to every property?
Yes, they did.
100% assessment.
I will tell you 100% no one has showed up. I have a camera on my driveway, my door, I work from home. Like, I would question the quality of Avatar if by the number of complaints that you've received. I think that should be something that select board should consider, is Avatar doing their job.
Well, I had somebody tell me that they caught them looking in their window.
Yeah.
So, but that's what somebody told me, whether that's
Yeah.
true or not, I don't know, but
Yeah, I
the
mean,
lady was wrapped up in her
if the
towel
guy,
coming out of the bathroom, and there's a guy looking in the window.
if the guy rings the doorbell, if he pulls in my driveway, I would have known. Just fair and simple. I'm thinking maybe Avatar should reassign somebody or something like that, or
Well,
select board should consider the
well,
quality of Avatar.
I think what we can do is we can look more into, if anyone has any specific complaints, then absolutely, please send an email to the select board, or come in and talk with Linda, and, that can be addressed individually.
Has it not been already many reports reported in the last meeting, though?
This is the first,
This is the second discussion on
this
this.
is the second one?
Uh-huh.
Cause I've heard stuff.
I haven't, I need to look at my tax bill, but I've had work done on my house, so I don't have necessarily.
They all went up anyways.
Yes, I know they all went up, so it's hard being a newer town member, but
No, they
like,
didn't.
if someone says they went out
General.
or doing an assessment and they've never visited my property, then I would question them being able to assess my house.
No, that's fair.
So,
So, okay,
You go down through the tax kiosk, and there's a lot of places that the numbers are the same for years.
okay.
I just did just a cursory check on it.
Please let me speak. So here's what we're gonna do. Linda tomorrow is going to talk to Avatar. She's going to raise your concerns. Somebody will get a hold of you as soon as we can.
Good.
You can then talk to Avatar and tell them whatever it is that you wanna tell them. Avatar will then obviously check back in with us, and if you're still unhappy in the future, they can file an abatement with the Board of Selectmen. And that's the next two steps. Planning beyond that is useless, because we don't know what's gonna happen in the
Right.
steps.
If they fall. She's tried.
I know.
They-
I know she's tried,
The
so she did
town
when we were in the
pays them to
office.
do this every year, they make, who knows?
Well, you're probably paying them a shitload of money.
We'll make sure it gets resolved, absolutely.
We understand your questions, and
Good.
Linda is going to take care of it, and so we'll contact you, and we'll go from there.
Good, thank you, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay? Does anybody else have any public comments or anything that I've missed on the agenda?
Anything online at all, Dave?
no one's on Zoom, no chat on YouTube.
Okay. I suppose I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Vote yes?
I vote yes.